Good evening once again, everyone. It's time now for the Diamond Dogs podcast. Time to talk Suwannee Baseball. I'm Wayne Littrell, joined by the head coach of the Suwannee Baseball team, Coach Billy Moran. And, Coach, we got a game tonight. I had a game last week against the Yulee Hornets, so let's just start there, and then we'll work our way toward tonight's ball game. But last week, 7-0 final score, fourth win in a row, shutting out the Yulee Hornets. That's not easy to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yulee historically has been a very good team. They just had a coaching change, so they had some transfer issues going on. So we knew they weren't going to be the typical Yulee team. However, we can't afford to take anybody lightly. So pitching did fantastic. Shutout. Anytime you pitch a shutout, it's a good day.
Yeah, Gabe Garcia got the start, and he shut down three straight innings. I think he had seven strikeouts or six strikeouts, something like that. I mean, he was really on fire, and one base runner reached. We caught him stealing, so nine batters in three innings. I mean, you can't ask for more from a starter than that.
Yeah, no hits. No hits. So he's throwing a no hitter. That's one of the things that's fortunate for us and unfortunate. We have so many arms that we very easily could have let Gabe go the whole game,
Yeah.
but we needed some other arms to get some innings. So we went ahead, took him out, and got some other guys some work. So would love to have him go the distance, which I'm sure he could have, but Gabe's a great team player. He understands that when we take him out, it's not because he's not doing great. It's because other guys need that development. So overall, just a really good pitching performance.
And then you brought in Green, followed by Watson, and they kept the zero on the scoreboard. A little struggle there, kind of in some innings, but defense bailed them out.
Yeah, defense has been pretty solid throughout the season for us. We've had just a couple of miscues here and there, but for the most part, our defense has been very, very good, and our pitching has been very, very good. So as long as we can keep that going, hopefully, if we have enough support from the bats, we'll win a lot of baseball games.
And speaking of support, you jumped out to a 6-0 lead. Great first inning. I mean, what a way to start a ball game. You can't ask for more as a coach to get that kind of jump start.
Yeah, absolutely. When we come in and can score six in the first, it kind of sets the tone right away, puts the other team on their heels. And in high school baseball, it's very difficult to play from behind. So the maturity of a lot of teams is not great. So when they get behind six, they just feel like that's a unaccomplishable task.
Yeah.
So and they kind of shut down. They play with more pressure, and when players play with pressure, they tend not to have the results that they want.
Yeah, sent 10 Bulldogs to the plate in the first inning, and that's great. Bat around. If you can do that, I mean, that's a great way to start a game.
Absolutely, yeah.
And got the victory 7-0 the final score. The other thing was, we had a lot of kids on the bench because you had some of the JV players
Mhm.
and got a lot of them in the game, which is, always great. As a coach, you don't know as the game starts, am I going to be able to work these guys in? But you were able to do that.
Yeah, what's great about it is I've got some guys that are really maturing. Some of these younger guys, and even some of the veteran guys, they're maturing, and we're saying, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and let one of these freshman JV guys get in that bat right here. I'm gonna let them go in and play an inning of defense. And rather than be upset or sad about it, they're just fired up and they're like, yeah, I'd love for the young guys to get in there. That's great. So it's a good opportunity for the young guys to get in there, play under the lights, play under. It was a pretty good crowd on
Yeah.
Friday, so the first time that those guys get in there, we don't want it to be in a high stress situation. We want it to be fun and memorable for them. So we're able to do that, and the all the players responded very very well to it.
Yeah, and you had some young guys that, let's face it, you get them that experience now, that's only to help you in the future. So if you can get Judson in the game or Parker or Kale or any of those guys, Case, you can get them in the game, get them some playing time, and that's just going to help you down the road.
100%. And make no mistake about it, we are very, very thin on the varsity staff. So we're one injury, we're one disciplinary action away from having a call on one of those guys. So we want them to know that we believe in them enough to put them in this game right here. That way they can go in there and play, stress free, carefree, and play up to their potential.
Yeah, congratulations, by the way. 4 wins in a row, and
Thank you.
we're not going to let it go to our head because we got a tough one tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's the one thing we've preached this week at practice. Coach Pennington and I have really, really been driving it home of, hey, just because we have had a little bit of success does not mean that we can relax, doesn't mean we can revert back to our selfish ways. The reason that we are winning baseball games is because we're playing great team baseball. not selfish baseball. So if we can keep that in our sights and understand and just execute as a team, we'll continue to win ball games.
Bishop Snyder coming in tonight. That's
Hmm.
tonight's opponent. That game, by the way, will begin at 7 o'clock. So start making your way down to Booster Field. Hopefully, a big crowd tonight. But Bishop Snyder, that's a very good team. Tell me a little bit about the Cardinals.
Well, I could tell you that the arm that we're going to see tonight on the mound is a Tennessee commit. He's a junior, and he's pretty rowdy character. Left-handed arm, super talented. The coaching staff is very, very good. Coach Osbeck is the head coach, and they're also assisted by a guy named Gil Morales, who in his time as a head coach, coached nothing but powerhouse programs and is synonymous with winning.
Yeah, they have a winning tradition, no doubt about it. They come in with an 8-5 record, and with that Tennessee commit on the hill, you're going to see some good pitchers. So really, it's kind of important to get a good start tonight. Do you know who you're pitching, by the way? Who do you
Yeah,
counter with?
yeah, it's going to be left on left. We're going with Grayson Green.
Okay.
So, and the great thing is, they got a guy that plays shortstop that's a Oklahoma State commit. They've got the pitcher that's a Tennessee commit. All of those guys committed, before the rule changed. So when the rule changed now, none of these players can be talked to or commit until August of their junior year, August 1st of their junior year. So those guys committed early. If that rule hadn't have changed, we would probably have 5 or 6 guys that are committed, but they changed the rule now, so we've got some uncommitted guys that are super talented. I mean, Grayson Bonds, I'd put him up against anybody. I'm excited to see that matchup tonight when Grayson Bonds steps into the box. So we've got a lot of talented players. We just don't have the clout of commitment on our team yet.
I was looking at their schedule. They've got wins over Baldwin, Trinity Catholic, Ridgeview. One at Columbia, 4-3. That was
Hmm.
the common opponent, and we lost by a run. They won by a run
Hmm.
against that bunch. Beat St. Augustine, Coy Creek, Sandalwood, Ponte Vedra. Losses come to some pretty good schools when you look at Providence, Trinity Christian Academy, Stoneman Douglas, West Broward. I guess they went down south probably during spring break,
Yep.
and Cardinal Gibbons. So
Mhm.
they have played some really tough opponents, and they come in with an identical record to Swanee at 8-5.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's they are of the same mindset as we are. We want to be challenged every single day, and you can't take days off. If you do, the opponents that we face are tough enough to take advantage of it. So they're going to be very, very comparable to us, talent wise and skill wise. So I think that it's going to be a really, really good baseball game. What's going to come down to is who pitches better, and who can execute on offense better. I don't think you'll see a ton of balls hit out of the park or anything like that. I think it's going to be a true pitcher's duel. One thing that I like about us is we run the bases very, very well. We're pretty aggressive, and we can expose weaknesses from catcher to pitcher on the base path. So I look forward to seeing what we can do to try to scratch a few runs across.
I think every game we broadcast, Noah Lopez is led off and got on base somehow, some way. And then once he gets on base, you never know because
Yeah.
he's that threat to steal on every pitch.
Yeah, he's a very talented base runner. He's super smart. He's always looking for the edge. A lot of times he'll steal, and I'll usually what I do is I try to study the pitcher, the catcher, and see what happens. See where the weakness is. And a lot of times he won't wait on me. He'll just steal because he's like, Coach, I'm fast enough to beat him anyway. So,
Yeah.
which is good. I like that.
Yeah, he leads the team, by the way, on base percentage at 540. So he's getting on, more than he's not, and also slugging percentage. And he's second on the team with batting average. So Noah's had a great season this year, and Grayson Bonds leads the team in batting average at 351. Your offense seems like, as of late, starting to pick up a little bit, and those numbers are starting to get better.
Yeah, we're like I said, we're driving home that team approach. If there's a runner on second base with less than 2 outs, we want to get him to third base. So if I can just try to hit a ground ball the other way and move him over, then that's what's best for the team. And a lot of times that simple approach right there will create a good result for you as a hitter. So, and we've been buying into that, and I think that's why you're seeing the numbers jump a little bit.
All right, more on tonight's matchup and more from Coach Moran as we talk Suwannee Baseball here on the Diamond Dogs podcast. This podcast is brought to you by First Federal Bank and also by Pool Realty. I want to thank all of our sponsors here at River Country, and thank you for watching and subscribing to the channel on YouTube. Right back after this. Stay tuned.
First Federal Bank is your partner in helping your business grow and assist with financial overhead. With person-to-person customer support, top-of-the-line banking services, and digital tools, your money is never out of reach and always safe. For over 60 years, we've been financing community businesses and partnering with growing franchises to provide stability and expansion opportunities. Bank with real people so you can focus on running your business.
When you're in the market for a home or vacant property to build that dream home on, contact Pool Realty of Live Oak. They can also help locate commercial real estate for your business venture. Pool Realty has a full team of professional and caring real estate brokers and agents, so always think Pool Realty of Live Oak to help you find the perfect home or property in Suwannee or surrounding counties. Pool Realty, a proud supporter of RiverCountrySports.com.
Rapid Fiber Internet's locally owned and operated, powered by Suwannee Valley Electric Co-op. Our local employees are dedicated to providing a world-class customer experience to each of our Suwannee Valley Electric members. Make the switch today to Rapid Fiber Internet's 100% fiber to the home internet system. To learn more about Rapid Fiber Internet, visit rapid-fiber.com. Again, that's rapid-fiber.com or call 866-64-RAPID.
When watching the big game, you want pizza. Papa John's Pizza of Live Oak has what you're looking for. Delicious pizza, cooked just the way you like it. From their signature sauce to their toppings, the fresh original dough, plus wings, breadsticks, and more. Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's Pizza, 6852 Suwannee Plaza Lane in Live Oak. Call for delivery or stop by today. And welcome back to the Diamond Dogs podcast. Wayne Littrell with Coach Billy Moran. And take a moment here and step away from baseball. I want to congratulate the Suwannee Lady Dog Wrestling, or weightlifting team. Excuse me, Suwannee Strong. They just won the 1A state championship, their fourth title in a row. Can you believe that?
That's incredible.
It is, man. The girls won both the traditional title and the Olympic crown, led by individual state champ Savannah White. So congratulations to the Suwannee Lady Dog weightlifting team. Once again, state champions.
Yeah, you can't talk about Suwannee weightlifting, period, without or weightlifting in the state of Florida without talking about Suwannee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're just a powerhouse. Coach Marcy does it right. Those girls and boys are just awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the boys team as well, but the girls winning another state title is, and it's the depth that they have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my daughter, she's an eighth grader, and she's already just
Looking forward to it?
super excited
Yeah.
about being a part of the girls weightlifting program here at Suwannee High School. So yeah, I mean, so it's trickling on down into the middle school. All the girls get real excited about it. So
Yeah. What is do you have an off-season plan for the kids as far as training and everything? I know you don't want them get them too bulked up during the baseball season. That doesn't always help.
yeah, we try to give them a nutrition plan. We try to give them a
Yeah.
weightlifting plan, a throwing program.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things too, to where you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So we give everybody those things, but yeah, I'm not going to force it on you. Ultimately, you have to want to do it, and we have a lot of guys that do. Very very few that don't. But yeah, we have all that stuff available for our guys, and we're trying to get them to understand that, you know. So Bailey Williams is one that I would that give for an example. Bailey Williams right now might weigh 125 pounds. I look at him and I see him, I see the future. I see what he looks like. He's going to be 6'1", 6'2", 195 pounds and throw bullets and be able to crush the baseball, but that's 3, 4 years away. So what's important for him is to eat right, eat a lot, lift, keep his body strong,
Mm.
and, just continue to progress, and not get caught up in, the thought and the mindset of I'm a little guy, because you won't always be the little guy. He'll eventually be one of the biggest guys on the team.
And in baseball, it depends on the position. I mean, some guys, you don't want them to bulk up real big because, you got to move or what have you. So it depends on the individual and I guess the position they're playing.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I want them to get after it. In the off season, I want them to test themselves. I want them to lift hard. I want them to, flexibility is key.
Mhm.
So, we are going to lift heavy, but we're also going to spend just as much time on the heavy lift as we do on stretching and flexibility and just dynamic movements, being explosive, those types of things.
I don't think people realize too, you think about, let's just take a pitcher, for example, and everybody worries about his arm, but I mean, a lot of that comes from your legs and the work that you do in the off season, getting stronger there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when you run into arm injuries, most of the time it's because you're not utilizing your legs, you're not utilizing your core, you're not utilizing, you know, all of your body to assist your arm. So that a lot of times you'll see guys in high school that may throw 88 to 90 miles an hour. Next thing you know, they're in college and they're throwing 94, 95. That's because the college programs are teaching them how to use their whole body and not just their arm.
Yeah. Stepping away from high school baseball for a moment, have you seen the Savannah Bananas or have you heard of this team?
Yeah, I
Uh,
actually had a couple players go watch them this past weekend
In
in
Tampa.
Tampa.
That's
Yeah,
why I brought it up. They were
yeah,
just and I hadn't heard of them.
yeah,
I mean, I knew there was a minor league team, but I didn't know they were kind of the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
oh, they're every bit of that. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and it's fun to watch. But I had some family that went to the game and friends and just tell me about it and sent me a little video and I'm in. I'd subscribe to their channel.
oh yeah. Noah Lopez and his family actually went down this past weekend to watch them. I want to say a couple other guys went.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's
They sold out Raymond James Stadium.
yeah, 65,000 like it wasn't
Are
nothing.
you
They
kidding?
they would sell out any crowd. It doesn't matter where.
Yeah,
You can't even hardly get tickets. You got to
that's what
sit
I hear.
sit in the queue and wait, and then by the time they open, by the time you've made your final purchase, they've probably sold out already. So it's really entertaining.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is not only is it super entertaining, but those players are super talented.
Oh yeah.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah.
You
Most of them
can't.
have been professional at
Oh
some
yeah,
level.
for sure. Yeah, you can't just get out there and be a Savannah Banana,
No.
and not have any skill. You got to be a pretty good baseball player as
No,
well.
man.
So
I saw a guy on the mound do a complete flip and then throw a strike.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it takes some practice now.
yeah. I mean, and they're just. I mean, those guys are just relaxed, having a good time, and
Yeah.
it's really really fun to watch.
Yeah. It looks like it'd be fun to play,
Yeah,
if you took that approach to baseball. I mean, just having a blast and, score it. I mean, you want to win. It's competitive, but it's, a lot of it is just having fun.
yeah. Well, when Coach Bruce was here before, they always did a Halloween game, a costume game. I think next year, maybe in the fall, we might do something simple or
Okay.
similar to what the banana ball guys do.
Yeah. We'll pack
Yeah,
the stadium. I can
yeah.
guarantee you if you're doing tricks, man.
Yeah, it'll be fun, especially if we can get you guys out there to broadcast it. I think it would be pretty fun.
Oh yeah, we're in.
Yeah.
We're in. All right, so back to high school baseball. Bishop Snyder coming in tonight. A big matchup. Uh, how much has the winning streak affected the team? Do you feel like you can see the confidence grow on them, or are they just day to day doesn't matter about the results?
No, I think that they're they're trying this new team approach. They're getting positive feedback. They like that. However, they understand that it doesn't always work out perfectly. So whether we win or lose, the approach has to stay the same, and we have to understand that you know it's a marathon, not a sprint. So
Right,
just because you're not in first place right now doesn't mean that you're not going to end up where you want to be.
right,
So that's the biggest focus for us. But the good thing is baseball is one of those things when you do it right, a lot of times the results speak for themselves. So
yeah,
if we can continue to have a team approach and continue to execute with runners in scoring position, like I said, the strikeout numbers are way down.
yeah,
That always helps. So if we can keep doing that, I think we'll continue to win baseball games.
yeah. And not get too high and not get too
That's
low
right.
when things don't go your
That's
way.
right.
Um, I was looking at and talked about our team batting average. It's picked up now to 224 as a team. We got a team coming in here in Bishop Snyder. The Cardinals hitting 270 as a bunch.
Hmm.
So they got some hitters.
Yeah, they got a few guys that can hit. What's really fun about this and about these talented programs within the 150-mile radius is a lot of these guys have played travel ball together. So the leadoff guy, the shortstop, they've played travel ball with some of our guys. So they know each other pretty well. So it's not only is it a school rivalry, but it's a little friendship rivalry as well.
Okay. Trip Hanna, I guess one of those
Yeah.
guys, Kobe Bichelle,
Yep.
two of their leading hitters,
Mhm.
and as far as slugging and batting average, Hanna's 405 is a batting average, and Bichelle is a slugging percentage over 600.
Yep. So Trip Hanna played shortstop at Yulee last year. So
Oh,
they
okay.
they picked him up through the transfer portal. Um, and he's the Oklahoma State commit, plays shortstop. And then Michelle is the left-handed arm, the Tennessee commit. So we'll see him on the mound today.
Okay. Making some notes for
Yeah,
tonight's broadcast.
for sure.
By the way, Kyler Hall, football coach, supposed to join me tonight on the broadcast at Booster Field.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always fun to listen to talk about baseball. You know, Coach Hall was one of those athletes to where he could have been a Division One baseball player if he decided to. You know, he was crazy, unbelievably athletic.
Yeah. Well, I remember I coached him in rec football.
Mhm.
And first day we get him, we just want to see, who's got the attitude in there. So we just ran him.
Yeah,
And here's this kid, he's leading the pack, sprints and long. And I'm like, who is this kid? And then found out, it's Coach Hall's son. That's
Mhm.
Ron Hall's son. And anyway, it turned out to be. I had him in the wrong position, by the way. Looking back at that,
well,
but
it's hard to tell at
what
that
can you
time,
say?
you know.
Yeah, he was just one of those kids do anything he asked. He'd run through a wall for him
Yeah,
sometimes.
his brother. I played football with his brother and soccer. His brother Logan Hall, unbelievable athlete. Just a big, tall kid, could fly, and just super competitive. He played soccer his senior year, first time ever. Went out there and was a starter and scored some goals for the varsity squad. He was also a state champion on a track team. And that year, his senior year, we went really, really deep in the playoffs. That was the game we lost at Bowles 7-9, and we had like a 40-mile-an-hour wind going. But yeah, I mean, Logan Hall, Kyler Hall, just tremendous athletes, really, really competitive guys, and that'll be fun for Coach Hall to be on the podcast tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. So, Bowles is one of those schools that we used to have those country boys against the city boy rivalries,
Oh
back
yeah,
in football and in baseball and Bishop Snyder, one of those type schools that just going to attract the best players year in and year out.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that have transferred to that program because of the coaching staff and because of the way they do things. So they have a winning tradition and a pretty intense coaching staff. They're going to produce winners.
Yeah. And Swanee also with that type of tradition, we've got a winning tradition here. And but it's not the same as being a private school that can attract that type of talent. And let's face it, we're in a rural area,
Mhm.
so I mean, you got to live around here, or it's a long road trip.
Well, that's the thing I tell these guys, you can't put a premium on your grit. Like your grit will go a lot more than some of these other guys' talents, you know. So that's really what's kind of set Swanee baseball apart. That's really why we are able to get these guys to play us because they know talent wise we're going to match up, but grit wise we're usually, a little bit more advanced than everybody else. So that's the biggest thing, the most fun part about tonight, what I hope is that you get to see that grit come out because there's going to be some intense moments in tonight's ball game.
And this is not a team that shies away from road games. They're 6-3 on the road coming
Mhm.
in, so they're not going to be intimidated to play at Booster Field.
Not at all. From what I understand, when they played Columbia, they were down by two late in the game, and then there was a big play and a near bench clearing brawl.
Mm,
So it didn't get to that, but it,
okay.
it was it was pretty rowdy. It was pretty intense. A lot of emotions flying high. So
Mhm.
it should be a good game tonight. I look forward to it.
Yeah, and let's face it. I mean, we were pretty evenly matched against Columbia and could have had those late game heroics ourselves.
Mhm.
So, uh, what I see, at least on paper, are three teams that it could go either way, depending on, as you said, how pitching, how you pitch. Are you hitting your spots?
Mhm.
Are you able to, get that key run? Are you able to move runners around? So the little things are probably going to be the big difference tonight.
Now, 100%. But like I said, what I like about it is, I happen to know some of these players. I've seen them play, and I think our guys got a little bit more grit to them. And if they come out there and believe that and play like that, I think we'll be able to take home the victory.
All right, want to talk stats with you.
All right.
I was looking at the Swanee stats page, and from max preps and putting some things out. So pitching wise, you know, not bad as far as overall. We've had a pretty decent season. Our earn run averages are coming down. Winning percentages are looking pretty good. So I was looking at the earn run average 2.52 as a team. That's not bad midway through the season.
Yeah, one thing that we coach our players on, our pitchers on, is if you can keep them under 5, we should be able to win the baseball game. So if they can give up 5 or less, our offense is good enough to score at least 5. Um, you know, that's what we shoot for. Obviously Columbia game we didn't get to our 5 mark. We held them to 3, but we ended up losing. So offensively is where we came up short, in my opinion, on that game. But I mean, the pitchers do a great job. Coach Pennington does a fantastic job of coaching intent, pitchability, knowing where to throw the baseball, understanding, which breaking balls you're trying to throw and which count. And we're able to keep a lot of hitters off balance.
You've struck out 102 and walked just 49, so double the strikeout to walk ratio.
I mean, that right there speaks for itself. I mean, Coach Pennington's earned his money this year.
Yeah, no question. Giving up 6 home runs on the year, so that's not bad when you're looking at 385 batters that they face. So
yeah, I mean, even the hits. I'm not sure what the hits would be, but I would imagine to say that our defense has done a really really good job of taking away some hits from some guys. And also those hits are probably there's probably about 10 of them that may have been errors or something different, but they went the other way. But
one of those CNI singles.
yeah. So overall, our pitchers have done really really well.
Yeah, just bragging on the staff. I mean, you've got a lot of arms out there.
Mhm.
And let's say we got to see Garcia last week. I thought he looked really good, and looking forward to see Green. We've seen both Greens who have pitched well. Watson really surprised me coming in off the mound and had a strong performance last week. But top to bottom, your pitching staff has been outstanding so far.
What's great is we've got a couple arms on the JV squad that are just developing and moving right along. Joel McDonald was he was projected for me. He was projected to be one of our top 3 starters, and then he ran into some arm injury issues during the fall and was in a cast for most of the fall. So we are just kind of ramping him back up, making sure he's getting everything he needs, and he's pitching really, really well for the JV, and we look forward to him coming in and contributing. Probably on Friday or Saturday this week, he'll get an outing for the varsity as well, and he's just as good as any of our guys. He just that injury kind of set him back, and we're trying not to rush him into it.
I don't have a JV schedule, but are they playing tonight?
Yeah, they'll play tonight at 4:00.
Usually you get a JV and then a varsity, but not always. So.
Yeah, not always, but tonight it'll be JV at 4 and then followed by the varsity at 7.
All right, so the JV kids are playing right now, and again, the varsity will start at 7:00. So you can look forward to that. Bishop Snyder coming in to take on the Suwannee Bulldogs. Expect to see you there at Booster Field tonight to root on the Bulldogs. All right, going to take a time out here. We'll be right back with more. It's the Diamond Dogs podcast on RiverCountrySports.com.
When you're in the market for a home or vacant property to build that dream home on, contact Pool Realty of Live Oak. They can also help locate commercial real estate for your business venture. Pool Realty has a full team of professional and caring real estate brokers and agents, so always think Pool Realty of Live Oak to help you find the perfect home or property in Suwannee or surrounding counties. Pool Realty, a proud supporter of RiverCountrySports.com.
First Federal Bank is your partner in helping your business grow and assist with financial overhead. With person-to-person customer support, top-of-the-line banking services, and digital tools, your money is never out of reach and always safe. For over 60 years, we've been financing community businesses and partnering with growing franchises to provide stability and expansion opportunities. Bank with real people so you can focus on running your business.
Hey Bulldogs, let the UPS Store of Live Oak handle all of your packing and shipping needs. The UPS Store of Live Oak also offers mailboxes, printing, faxing, scanning. We also offer notary services and shredding services as well. Stop by your local UPS store. There's help in here, real help.
The UPS Store, located at 6824 Suwannee Plaza Lane, Live Oak, Florida.
Rapid Fiber Internet's locally owned and operated, powered by Suwannee Valley Electric Co-op. Our local employees are dedicated to providing a world-class customer experience to each of our Suwannee Valley Electric members. Make the switch today to Rapid Fiber Internet's 100% fiber to the home internet system. To learn more about Rapid Fiber Internet, visit rapid-fiber.com. Again, that's rapid-fiber.com or call 866-64-RAPID.
It's the Diamond Dogs podcast here on rivercountrysports.com, and it's brought to you in part by G&W Site Services. They can do it all, from land clearing to site prep, grade work to excavation and ponds to driveways and culverts, material hauling, foundations. Call 386-209-4856. Big Dog Ben Newman. G&W Site Services, 209-4856. You'll find them online at gwsiteservicesllc.com. All right, Coach, we talked pitching stats in the last segment, so I want to talk about hitting this segment. Team batting average is 224, just going to kind of go down the list. Rogers at 276 on the season, so let's talk about Colton to start with and improvement that you've seen or what he might need to do and to improve.
Colton Rogers, we have him at the 9 hole. We've moved him around a little bit, but we really like him in that 9 hole, just because he hits fastballs really well. He puts the ball in play really really well. So we like for him to roll that lineup back to the top. He's done a fantastic job. That a lot of these averages that you'll look at, they may not scream off the page at 450 or anything like that, but if there's a runner on third base with one out and you hit a ground ball to second base, you're that's not going to help your average, but that's going to help your team win ball games. So he's one of those guys to where very very rarely does he not get the job done. He's one of those guys that's going to execute and get his job done and help the team in any way that he can.
Yeah, and you talked about you look more at on base percentage than you do batting average. So if you looked at the on base percentage for Rogers, let me turn the page here. Not too shabby at 447.
Yeah. So I mean, when you start to look at averages, averages are subjective. In my opinion, the on base percentage tells a true story because it shows exactly how much you're on base compared to how many plate appearances you have, and it shows that you will not strike out. And you'll be a productive batter.
Yeah. No, I can flip the page over to the on base percentage
Either
instead of
way,
the batting
yeah,
averages, but
it doesn't matter. I mean, I can almost guarantee you that every one of the batting averages, the OBP is going to be significantly higher.
yeah. So, now the Green Boys, we need to get both of them going offensively.
Yeah. Well, I mean, both of those guys they're super valuable defensively. So, and they're very capable offensively. We just got to get them in their groove. And that's one of those things where if they're cold right now, somebody else is hot, and we're going to ride the hot hand for a little while. So, both of those guys, we've talked to both of them. We've talked to them about having an approach, about being positive with an approach. Um, both of those guys are super high energy, super high intensity. So when it's good, it's really good, but when it's bad, it's really bad. And I'm meaning the intensity and the reactions after results.
Yeah.
So we got to get those guys to understand that hitting a ground ball, with a runner on second, moving them to third is good. It's not terrible.
It's a good team thing.
That's 100% right. It's a great team productive at bat. Although it doesn't reflect that on your average. So we can't, like I said, the stats, we can't sit here and fight stats. As hitters, you have to go up there and have just focus on having a great at bat, this at bat. You can't think about the next at bat. You can't think about the at bat before. You got to think about this one right here and just executing your job.
Yeah, the funny thing about baseball is sometimes you'll see the ball just really well, and other times you're not seeing the ball well, and you get in slumps or you get in streaks, and I don't know what if you hit extra cage work or what works for each individual. A lot of times for me, it was just stepping away from it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the weirdest. It's the hardest thing to do in sports, in my opinion. Hitting a baseball that's traveling at at least 75 miles an hour or faster. you're hitting a round ball with a round bat. Everything is important. I mean, you can miss by a centimeter, and the difference is a ground ball, fly ball, or home run. So it's super hard. But then at the same time, there's like you said, there's times when you step in there, and every time you swing the bat, it's like, man, I don't think I can miss this thing if I
Yeah.
tried. And then you get up there and you see, guys throwing 84, and you're thinking, man, I could hit that, and then for whatever reason, it's just you're just disconnected somewhere. So it's it's really frustrating, especially because these guys put in like countless hours of work on hitting the baseball. So, and then, it's like, hey, this weekend I spent 3 hours in the cage on Saturday, three on Sunday, went out there on, Monday and had practice. And then Tuesday I was over for four.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just not, it doesn't always reflect the work that you've put in. So it could be very frustrating, and it can be demoralizing to your self-esteem. So you kind of have to dive into the team play and kind of forget about your individual results. And when you do that, things usually line up for you.
Yeah, and look at like last game, Dylan Green. He grounded out to the third baseman at the same time. He had an RBI and brought in a player. So
Yeah, I mean,
the
and
little things like that that you maybe not show up.
yeah, and he and for so Dylan Green on that particular bat was very very disappointed in the result. I mean, first of all, the third baseman made an incredible play. It was a backhanded play. Dylan runs really really well, so he not only did he field it, but he made a good throw and he made it quick. And so I mean, the guy just made a good play, but ultimately it was a great at bat to not strike out. It's a great at bat to put the ball in play. It's a great on the ground. It's a great at bat to score a run for the team.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing bad about it. So
Yeah, exactly. And let's face it, the third baseman, if he doesn't make that stop, or if he bobbles it just a moment, he beats it out, or he could have went home, and then we had to play at the plate or gotten a run. I mean, you just don't know. But put it in play. If you don't put it in play, nothing happens.
that's right. And even all the coaches were, after that inning we were talking about, were like, "How'd that guy throw Dylan out?" I can to play at third base, and he threw him out. It's like that's a pretty good play. So
Yeah. Yulee, pretty good ball club. I mean, they, the starting pitcher struggled a little bit and they got behind, but outside of that, I mean, after that, and they brought in the Fallon kid. I mean, they kind of shut us down at that point for a little while.
yeah, that was one thing that I kind of talked to the team about. I don't know that he shut us down as much as maybe our mindset changed a little bit. Once we got
Having
up.
got that big lead.
Yeah, we go up there 6-0, and then we start thinking about, okay, well now I can swing for me instead of swinging for the team.
Okay.
Like I hadn't hit a home run yet, so let me see if I can't hit one out here. So I think there was a little bit of that. And that's going to happen. You know, Boys will be boys, so
Oh, sure.
it's our job as coaches to kind of reel them back in and refocus them. Um, you know, a lot of times, I think that maybe happened a little bit in the St. Joe's game. We scored four early,
Mhm.
and then I think we kind of relaxed a little bit. Next thing we blink and we're down by three. So,
Swinging for the fences, and I used to do it. So, I mean, when I played ball, that was always everybody wants to hit the home run,
yeah, I mean that's
but
what
you're going to hit it when you're not trying to hit one,
I know.
right?
I know it's silly. It's the most frustrating thing in baseball. Just go up there and you could just okay, all I'm trying to do is hit a ground ball here. And next thing you know, you hit a ball out of the park, and then you're like, oh, next at bat, you try to hit one out of the park, and you swing and miss three times.
Yeah, that's right.
It's weird.
So, as far as tonight's approach, runs are going to be at a premium. So, if we get somebody on base, you're going to try to do things to sacrifice and move them over, hit and run, things like that.
Yeah, we
Be
got a
aggressive.
left-handed pitcher, so we're going to try to put some pressure on him, especially if we can get a guy on first base. He's going to, as he comes set, he's looking right at the runner. So if we can take some of his focus and put it on that first base runner instead of the guy at the plate, that's how pitchers make mistakes, is when they're more focused on a runner than the hitter at the plate. So we'll try to put some pressure on him. We'll try to put pressure on the catcher as well,
Okay.
and just really like you said, we'll probably see a lot of bunting, probably see a lot of hit and run type stuff. Just something to create pressure for the defense and you know, try to see if we can play with a little bit of a lead and put as much pressure on these guys. That's the thing is about these guys is I think that we will be better suited to play under pressure than they will. I don't think they like pressure.
Yeah. As far as the atmosphere at At Booster Field. Do you pick the music? Is that up to the guy upstairs? Do you like the old rock and roll? I
Oh
mean,
yeah, I mean my whole baseball playlist. When they were like, "Oh, what do you want us to play?" and I just share my whole playlist with them and tell them
okay,
don't play anything
because I love
else.
your music up there. Is
Yeah,
what I'm getting at.
yeah. I mean, it's all like 70s, 80s classic rock
Yeah,
type stuff.
my
Yeah,
generation.
yeah. Well, so I mean, I grew up listening to that kind of music. It's really good for the baseball field, and whenever whenever we go to do our little in and out routine, I have specific songs that I like for them to play during our in and out routine. So yeah, it's there's a little bit of thought that goes into it.
Okay. Well, I like the musical selection, man. It just seemed like you made it for me because
Yeah,
I mean I'm singing along with Van Halen and
yeah.
AC/DC and Creed and whatever.
Oh yeah,
And it's pretty neat.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of them, man, and um, like I said, back when in that time you just listen to the radio and they would
Yeah.
just rock all that good stuff. So I've now we have the ability to go pick a whole playlist. So I probably have like a 6 hour playlist of
Yeah.
just great music.
Yeah, back in my day, we had to change CDs out there, but now you can just have it on one device and
Yeah,
hell, it's on your phone. I mean,
yeah,
you can't get much easier than that.
yeah.
But the atmosphere was really cool last Friday because not
Mhm.
only do you have the good food and the concessions and the good music, but the softball girls were playing as well. So, and we had a double dog victory. They beat Hamilton County last week. So it was cool to have that atmosphere going back and forth
Mhm.
and watching both of them, supporting both the girls and the boys.
Yeah, I when I schedule, I try to make sure that we get as many home Friday games as possible. I know Greg likes to do the same thing,
Yeah.
and when we can have 2 games going at one time. It's a great environment. You got what I love and what I would love for you guys to do if you get a chance. You need to video some of that little wiffle ball game that's going on in
Going in the
between those
middle of
two
the field,
games.
yeah.
Yeah, because there are some monster studs in the between.
Yeah.
Like those guys are going to grow up and be Swanee's greatest. So and they're pretty. Those are pretty intense games that go on in between the fields.
Yeah, no doubt. I had to use the facility, so you had to interrupt it for a moment. Excuse me, boys,
Yeah. Well,
walking through.
don't walk too slow because you'll get taken out.
Fiending with a wiffle ball.
That's right.
And there's
Yeah.
nothing better than wiffle ball. Now that's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, and what's great too is the other day I was driving by and they just left the bat right there. That way they could pick right up next game.
And get going once again.
Yeah, I was driving through with my son. He's like, "Hey, they left the bat." I said, "Yeah, nobody's gonna take that thing. They wanted to be here when they get back."
Yeah, no question about it. That's
Yeah,
fun. But baseball's supposed to be fun. I mean,
yeah,
so that's it's great to see them having a good time at the ball field. And meantime, the parents and the grandparents are watching their kids play, and it was just a cool atmosphere, especially on a Friday night.
oh yeah,
And I love Friday games as well. And we got a couple more Friday broadcasts coming up, but Wednesday today, and tonight's opponent Bishop Snyder. So looking forward to that matchup. It should be a good one. And then we got a bunch of baseball after this. I mean, you can't focus on one game. Love to get the win tonight. Love to keep that winning streak going, but you got to look at the whole season in one game at a time.
yeah. And we got 2 more games and both games on the road in Tallahassee throughout the rest of the week. We got Florida High on Friday,
Yeah,
and then we have North Florida
Florida
Christian
Christian.
on Saturday.
Yeah.
So 2 road games, 2 tough road opponents. So we'll get to either relish in victory or learn from defeat tonight, and then we got to move on.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of time to dwell on it
Yep.
because, like, say Friday, Saturday, back to back in Tallahassee. Are you coming back in between, or are you staying over there?
Yeah, no, we're gonna come back with it just being a short drive over. We're gonna come right back.
Okay. And then still to come on the schedule, you've got Newberry at home. You got the game in Lake City, another shot at Columbia. And then you got Santa Fe coming up, home and away. Senior night, by the way, is going to be Santa Fe at home.
Yep.
That'll be on April 4th. And then we'll end the season with trips to a trip to Lowndes. Up in Georgia, and then you've got Menendez and North Florida Christian. So again, no easy ball games at all
Yeah.
in this schedule.
Yeah, the good thing is, looking at our regional rank, we're doing pretty well. I think we're ranked number 4 in the region right now, which is good. We regardless of what our schedule looks like throughout the end of the season, I have a lot of confidence in our team moving into the district tournament and going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think they can see it too that our pitchers are very talented and we have a lot of them. So, So a lot of people, a lot of teams don't have as many pitchers as we do at the talent level. They might have guys that they say pitch, but they're not very good, and they're not developed. That's one of the things. With Gabe pitching the Friday night game, we could have let him run 6 innings easily,
Oh, yeah.
and it wouldn't have hurt him a bit, wouldn't hurt anybody a bit. But then we wouldn't have got to see those other two arms come in and pitch.
Right.
So, and it's going to come to a point to where one of those other few arms is going to have to come in and pitch, and they're going to have to pitch in a big moment. So we want them to be ready and developed and have the confidence to do that.
I know in a lot of cases, guys got a shutout going, got a no hitter going, and you want to take him out. He's not going to like that. But that team approach going, okay, I understand, coach. Here's the baseball.
Yeah, it's just a big picture point of view, and all of our guys get that. They understand that. We've been preaching it since the fall, and they're really buying into it. And you can see the results are right there for you to see it. So and they're really buying into it.
That district tournament, by the way, April 14th through the 18th. I think if we keep winning and stay above 500 with our strength of schedule, there's postseason's right there.
Yeah, we expect to be able to make a lot of noise in the district. We hope to be able to win it, and then possibly even host the first series in the playoffs. I mean, that would be our goal, and I think that we have a really good opportunity to do that.
Looking back at the season, your first day of conditioning back in January.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it's been a long campaign to get to this point.
Yeah, on Monday, the first thing we did before we even started practices, I got everybody up. I got the JV and varsity all together, and I told them, hey, we're in the grueling part of the season right now. Where a lot of people are going to relax or just kind of accept and be, the whatever the results are going to be. What we're going to do is we're going to realign mentally, and we're going to go harder and tougher, and just outwork our opponents right now from this point on, because a lot of people are, they're just they're gassed, they're tired mentally, they're tired physically, they're tired, and we are not, and we're not going to allow ourselves to get that way. So I think that that message to those guys, they really understood that, and they're going to move forward like that.
Yeah, good approach.
Mm-hmm.
All right, stay tuned. We'll take a final timeout. Back to wrap up the Diamond Dogs podcast after this. It's the Diamond Dogs podcast. We're talking Suwannee Baseball here on RiverCountrySports.com.
First Federal Bank is your partner in helping your business grow and assist with financial overhead. With person-to-person customer support, top-of-the-line banking services, and digital tools, your money is never out of reach and always safe. For over 60 years, we've been financing community businesses and partnering with growing franchises to provide stability and expansion opportunities. Bank with real people so you can focus on running your business.
When you're in the market for a home or vacant property to build that dream home on, contact Pool Realty of Live Oak. They can also help locate commercial real estate for your business venture. Pool Realty has a full team of professional and caring real estate brokers and agents, so always think Pool Realty of Live Oak to help you find the perfect home or property in Suwannee or surrounding counties. Pool Realty, a proud supporter of RiverCountrySports.com.
Rapid Fiber Internet's locally owned and operated, powered by Suwannee Valley Electric Co-op. Our local employees are dedicated to providing a world-class customer experience to each of our Suwannee Valley Electric members. Make the switch today to Rapid Fiber Internet's 100% fiber to the home internet system. To learn more about Rapid Fiber Internet, visit rapid-fiber.com. Again, that's rapid-fiber.com or call 866-64-RAPID.
All right, hey Bulldog fans, when you're hungry, we can satisfy that appetite at Beef O'Brady's of Live Oak. Come dine with us during, before, or after the ball game. We feature big screen TVs, so you won't miss any of the big events. At Beef O'Brady's, check out our game room featuring pool tables and games for the kids. Stop by Beef O'Brady's for some good food, good sports, and good games.
It's RiverCountrySports.com, the Diamond Dogs podcast. Hey, Bulldog fans, when you're hungry, remember Robbie's Cafe, home of the Big Fish Sandwich, plus burgers, Salads, hot and cold sandwiches, wings, always fresh, always delicious. Robbie's Cafe by Suwannee High School, right around the corner. Pinewood Drive in Live Oak. Robbie's Cafe, where Bulldogs are fed. All right, I pulled up the regional standings here you were talking about. We've actually moved up to third in the latest ranking. So South Walton's number one in our region, and this stretches from the Panhandle to Jacksonville, so it's a pretty big region. But South Walton is first, followed by West Florida, and then Suwannee sitting at the number 3 spot right now.
That's good news.
Yeah,
That's really
you
good.
like that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you look at a record. I mean, we're 8-5. We're ahead of Fernandina Beach, who's 11-2, right behind us.
Yeah. Well, that speaks
strength
to
of
the strength of schedule. And when we looked at that region, we felt very confident that we would be able to make a playoff run. So we really knew that it came down to, are we going to be battle tested by the time we get there? So that's why we made such a tough schedule. But I mean, yeah, if you're looking at this region, we have a really good opportunity to make a lot of noise in the playoffs. So and that South Walton team, they're very talented. But I just don't know that they have the numbers that we have as far as depth of pitching.
Yeah, feel pretty good about the region. I'm looking at the other teams. After Fernandina comes West Nassau, then Panama City Bay. Baldwin is up there along with Paxson, and then comes Wolfson. So Wolfson's got to get into those top 8.
Yeah, and they're all in our district too.
Yeah.
So we played Wolfson one time. We defeated them at home. So when we go to the district tournament, we'll actually be on spring break. So so we'll be able to, hopefully when the rankings come out, we'll be the top seed in our district and we'll be able to host.
I was wondering about spring break because I noticed a lot of teams, like we played Yulee after they finished with us, they were headed to Tennessee for a tournament up there during their spring break. And,
Yeah.
Talked about Snyder going down and playing some South Florida schools.
Mhm.
But we normally that spring break would come a little bit earlier and would be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think this year for I think for some academic reasons they wanted to push it back, so they pushed it back to April. Um,
And
you
maybe
know,
Easter coming later this year.
yeah,
May have
and
been a
so I
factor.
think maybe that's why they did it. I got some feedback from a couple of the teachers, and they said that mentally after spring break the kids kind of check out and they don't they never come back from spring break. So that's good for academics. However, for baseball,
Yeah.
it's not my favorite. Of course, I like to go and travel on spring break and take them down to like a tournament style situation and put them up against really good competition. That's where you get to kind of, it's like the mid-season point, and you get a lot of bonding. Like the boys bond together pretty well during that time. You stay in a hotel. We don't let them. We don't like for them to stay with their parents. We like to put three in a room and then with a coach there, and it just kind of tightens that brotherly bond. And they seem to play pretty well after those kind of trips. So.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe next year we get that together, but this year it comes late, so we'll probably take advantage of that during the district tournament. Maybe that'll come into play there as we, from the district tournament, then you advance to the playoffs, and it gets a little more intense as you go.
Yeah, absolutely. The good thing is coming out of the district tournament, we'll go straight into the playoffs. Right that week, the very following week. So we'll probably do if we can host, that'd be great. But if not, we'll have to do some traveling there. So
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it works out.
yeah,
Hopefully, we can stay in the top of the region and get some home ball games during the playoffs. It's always great to play at home, and shoot, I'm gonna have a big crowd when come playoff time. Actually, the crowds have been pretty decent from what I've seen.
yeah, they've been really good. But I can tell you that those playoff crowds, there's a different feel in the air.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's really awesome. That's one thing about Booster Field. When you host a playoff game, the community turns out. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So hopefully we can do that.
Yeah, and the two regional final games that Swanee has won and went to the Final Four, they've both been home games. So it's a great feeling. I was able to be in attendance at both of those games. It's a great feeling when you're playing for a regional title to go to the Final Four in front of your home crowd. It's just there's nothing like it.
The last time we went to the Final Four, I guess 3 seasons ago, it was in Fort Myers. Is it still there?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's still Fort Myers.
That's a trip
Oh yeah,
from here.
yeah, yeah. and it's it's a different environment too. They play a lot of those games in the daytime, just because they got all classifications and trying to get all those games in. They start them at like 10 o'clock in the morning, so if that's why we're trying to do the Saturday game to get a couple of day games in, so we can be used to playing daytime and during the nighttime. So
Yeah. Because you get stuck with one of those 10 a.m. games. I mean, kids aren't even awake yet.
yeah, I mean it's a completely different feel. If you play that game on a Saturday, it's a lot different than when you got lights on and it's dark outside, and you got 300-400 people in the stands.
Yeah. Any final words anybody want to say hello to before I let you go? You got to get to the field here.
Yeah, well, you know, just come out to watch the game tonight. It's going to be a really good one. You're going to get to see a Tennessee commit pitch, and you're going to get to see Grayson Green pitch. And like I said, we don't know where he's going to commit. We don't know where Grayson Bonds are going to commit. But what I do know is we've got college players in our lineup. They've got college players in their lineup. It's going to be a great matchup. So, hope that everybody can come out and watch and and just get after it.
All right. First pitch is just coming up moments away. 7 o'clock is when this ball game will start. So come on out and support the Bulldogs as they take on Bishop Snyder. Coach, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Diamond Dogs podcast airs live each Wednesday evening at 6 during the baseball season. And then, of course, is archived on our website for you to watch anytime. Our next baseball broadcast coming up moments away, Bishop Snyder. So hopefully you'll stay tuned for that, or hopefully you'll bring your phone with you and come out to the ballpark. Want to thank all of our sponsors. Appreciate every one of you. The Coaches Show is brought to you by First Federal Bank and by Pool Realty. Appreciate all of our sponsors, including Rapid Fiber and Papa John's, the UPS store of Live Oak, G&W Site Services, Beef O'Brady's. Appreciate all of you. So for Coach Billy Moran, I'm Wayne Littrell. You've been watching the Diamond Dogs podcast here on rivercountrysports.com.